How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Color Out of Space. This is from 2019 and directed by Richard Stanley and stars Nicolas Cage. This is also based on a short story by H.P. Lovecraft, which I have in this collection right here. So this movie, it follows the Gardner family, and they have moved into Nicolas Cage's dad's old farmhouse in the outskirts of Arkham, and they're looking to have a nice and peaceful life. However, shortly after they're there, been there for a bit, a giant meteoroid crashes and lands in their front yard. Now this meteoroid is giving off a strange color that you can't really define, represented in the film by magenta, but obviously, can't film a surreal color like that. But in addition to this color out of space, it starts to affect the things around it, the plants and the animals, and things start to behave kind of weirdly. And this is also kind of an interesting thing. The story, written in like the 1920s, I think, yet it pretty accurately starts to talk about radiation. So that's a weird thing there, but the meteorite's giving off this strange radiation, and it begins to affect things in strange ways, which of course is going to take its toll on this family. Nicolas Cage plays the head of the family, Nathan Gardner, and people always ask with Nick Cage movies, how intense is the performance, because it's one of the things the actor is known for. And he starts off, kind of a normal dad, a little more sarcastic and a little more quirky than most dads, so it's there even when he's playing a relatively normal character. Then he starts to get a little angry, and you start to see that classic Nick Cage over-the-top performance begin to creep in. But by the end of the film, when things go to their extremes, you do get the classic Nick Cage moments that everybody wants to see. So don't worry, those are there. In addition to Nick Cage, you have his wife, who is in the middle of battling cancer, seems to be almost out the other side, and they have 3 kids, an older brother who looks like is turning into a bit of a pothead, a middle child, a daughter who is turning to magic to try to help the mom get better, and a young and innocent little son there. So the family, they're in the beginning visited by a hydrologist who kind of becomes, the outside looking in type character. And I actually, I read the story again after watching the movie, and the hydrologist being there is one of the bigger changes, because in the book he comes after the strange days and just hears a story, but here he comes during the strange days and witnesses it firsthand. And even though there's lots of changes like this to the story, Lovecraft fans will be glad to know that it actually keeps relatively close to the book. I mean, I was reading through it again, and I was like, oh, there's that thing, they did that right, they did that right. And it's actually pretty close. And towards the end of the film, you do get really cool Lovecraftian imagery, which hasn't been put on film near as much as it really should. You get the well lights, the blasted heath that they describe in the novel is great to see that. And the hydrologist who, he finds out about the story in the novel, he's the one writing it, they use lines from the Lovecraft novel to open and close a story. So I was really glad and appreciative to see them using actual lines from the book to open this up. As far as Lovecraft's adaptations, this is one of the better Lovecraft movies. Obviously you have the Stuart Gordon movies, which everyone knows and loves, but this is probably the best thing since the Stuart Gordon movies, and The director, Richard Stanley, I hope he does more, like Stuart Gordon, Reanimator, Castle Freak, From Beyond, and Dagon. If if we get 3 more movies out of this guy, I will be really, really happy. But anyway, the one thing I do have to mention is towards the end, and I'm not going to spoil the ending, I wouldn't do that, but it goes in a very dark and doomed way. You know, you start to see that a lot of the people in this movie are going to meet horrible fates, and if you're a Lovecraft fan, you know that. But people who just come in and want to see a Nicolas Cage freak out, or are expecting a more Hollywood ending, you have to know with this movie, it's going to be some very bad ends for characters. There is a definite sense of doom in this movie that I don't think everyone's going to appreciate. And, you know, I have to say, I'm glad they kept it the way it is. A happy ending on the end of this would just seem false. But if you're a fan of The Thing, it had moments that definitely reminded me of that. If you're a fan of Annihilation, there are a few moments that reminded me of that. But then again, I think Lovecraft probably inspired both those movies to a certain extent. And this movie, I found it in Walmart. Like, a lot of the people, the first time they saw this was essentially direct-to-video. It had done the festival circuit, but it didn't get a wide release. And on the direct-to-video scale, this is so much better than a ton of this stuff out there. I watched some of these direct-to-video movies, absolute garbage. Now, there are some good ones, and a lot of them are just meh. But compared to this is, you know, movie theater quality. Great movie. I would have loved to see, especially the end when things go crazy. I'd have loved to see that on a big screen. So don't let the direct-to-video thing fool you. This is great. And yeah, for someone who loves to read Lovecraft, and I love the Stuart Gordon movies, this is pretty. I mean, check it out. You know, you're the kind of person that if this, you know, is sounding like something you might be interested in, I definitely recommend go check this movie out. The sense of doom isn't going to be for everyone, but yeah, there's some cool surprises, and especially when it heats up to that climax. And not really a spoiler, but Lovecraft fans, you know, keep an eye out for a little cameo from someone who hasn't actually gotten a good film treatment yet, but a little cameo from an old friend towards the end. Anyway, I definitely recommend this movie. Check it out. I'll see you guys again pretty soon. I need to do a video on the Gordon ones. Maybe I'll do reviews or something. But anyway, to everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you so much. I'll see you guys again next time. Have a good day.